Hello, everyone. It's me, S.Shalabi with S.Shalabi Short Stories. We are back to try to read as much as we can again tonight of The Devil's Bride. So, after we do that, I just really have a passion for movies. Making movies. I wish I could make movies. So at the end of the video, I want to play a song that inspires me to this story and makes me think of this story. So stay tuned, okay? And here we go. Remember, she said, it says, but my heart yearned, okay? Her heart was yearning for that Damon spirit, right? Okay, let's go. I prayed, please God, forgive me, and help me find true love and friendship. After I prayed what I thought was right, I got in the shower, and that's where it happened. I turned on the shower and began to undress. I could feel eyes on me, but I got in there to wash anyway. But as soon as I let the water touch me, I became aroused from the thought of Damon. Thoughts of him and the feeling of his presence touching my privates and licking me all over made me want to play with my pleasure button. Just as I started to finish what he started, I heard a voice say, "You don't have to do that." I thought it to be from my Creator, so I stopped and felt relieved and at peace without masturbation. I felt a heavenly presence, as if God was right with me. After washing myself and getting ready to dress, I walked around my room looking at all that I had and realized how I had everything I would ever want. I then understood how my Creator had really spoiled me. Started me thinking about him more, how he has always been good to me throughout everything I had been through in life, and how if I wish for things, they come true. I started to fall in love with God. How could I think this way? Well, no man has ever loved me more or given me more than God. So I thought how much I loved him, and my heart started to orgasm in a way that was just amazing. From then I knew that I would choose my true king. However, I feared losing this love I felt from my Creator, so I cried from gratefulness, awe, and hope. I had hoped I could be with my King in paradise. Then I wondered if my Lord planned this from the beginning. He could have known of my love for him and planted the idea in my yearning. Could this be true? My King loves me romantically? Girl going crazy. Anyway, let's read on. It seemed like Damon, from the start, wanted me to be his companion in hell, which was my fear. Then there was Slim. He had me thinking he planned all this with Damon. I guess I shouldn't have told Slim about Damon and all of what I was going through with him. Then there was my yearning for my Creator, who was my everything and my greatest desire. To be with the Creator in paradise was all I wanted. To see his face, to be in his embrace while he is pleased with me. To be with the most powerful entity in all of the worlds was my desire. And I knew if I stayed repentant and on the path, that my Creator might grant my wish. So I decided to keep away from unmarital sex with jinn or men. I knew it would work out just fine for me. I just had to put, excuse me, I just had to put my trust in my Lord. Finally dressed up in something beautiful and feeling triumphant, I hear a knock on the door. Who could it be? I opened the door thinking it was Slim. But when I opened the door, it was a beautiful dark-skinned muscular man that was a little taller than me. I said, "How may I help you?" "I'm looking for Unique," he said in a sexy voice. "That's me. What can I do for you?" "Can I come in?" he asked. "I'm in need to speak with you about something dire," he says. I let him in, and with reluctance. In his company, he seemed gentlemanlike, so I grew comfortable enough to sit in his presence and right next to him. I looked at him for a while and grew nervous of what he might say because he grew quiet and just stared at me. I said while lowering my head, "So, what's up, mister?" One minute we were sitting playing the staring game until I spoke. Then the next moment, he rushed at me, putting all his weight on me, telling me in my ear, "It's me, D. You like this? You want me? This could be all yours, Unique," as he rubbed and caressed my body. It all felt so good, but I had to resist temptation. So I said, "You gotta go now." He sucked my breast, begging me to be with him. But all I could remember was my promise to my Creator and him being my true love, and how I just didn't want to disappoint him. However strong I thought I was, it didn't compare to his strength and endurance. This guy was determined to make me love him, or he was going to force himself on me, making love to me until I blindly follow his wang. D's molestation of my body eventually had me moaning, moldable in his hands. I said, "Please stop," breathless and ready, not really wanting him to stop, but needing him to. He kissed me and said, "Only because you insist." I quickly got up and straightened my clothes while pushing him out of the door. He says, "I have something for you, my love, and it's big." I asked his name one last time before I closed the door. He says, "Damon." Later that night, I got another knock on the door. I was fearful at first, thinking my demon is haunting me in the flesh. Then I ask, "Who is it?" "It is me, Slim," he says. I grew calmer and opened the door. I am so happy to see you. You won't believe what happened to me today, I said as soon as I saw his face. He said, hold on, what happened today? I explained everything and showed him the letter. He looked and said nothing at first. I said, I'm right. I told you it was Damon. It seems like someone is playing games with the devil, Slim says, believing finally. So what are you going to do? He asked. I'm not sure. Maybe we could do some research on him. I said, so unsure. Slim said, no, that sounds good. That's just what we will do. Maybe we might even find a way to defeat him. So we searched the web and could not find a thing on him. And I grew frustrated. How might I get out of this and have a normal life? I said to Slim. You can't have a normal life with me, Slim says. What? I know you have, no, he says, I know you like powerful men, and am I not powerful enough? I could buy you anything you want, and I know you're a humble woman and would not ask for much, but that's why I would give you the world. So what do you say? Sim said seriously. I asked, do you really think that it would work between us if we got back together? And I wasn't thinking love would find me with Damon around. You think the creator wants you alone, and that Damon has been keeping love from finding you. But I think the creator wants me to love on you. Some said as if the words had come from a divine presence. I smiled and said, we will see. Well, don't keep me waiting long, he said. I won't, I promised. I'm about to head out, so stay away from answering the door unless you have to, he suggested. Okay, Slim, I said. He walked out, and a feeling hit me after he was gone, and I was sitting on the couch. I sat there feeling like I was being watched. Then I hear a voice say, finally, we are alone. It's time for bed, his voice said. I grew tired, wondered where the fatigue came from. Then I realized it was Damon that was making me feel aroused and wanting to lay down so that he might fuck me until I fell asleep. I resisted for as long as I could, but eventually got truly tired and had to go get ready for bed. As I lay in bed half naked, I feel my back being massaged, and I hear him say, baby, don't fight me. I know you want me more than you are acting. I'll be coming home soon. I could feel him inside me, so I started to tell him telepathically, this is wrong, and how I can't do this anymore. I said, please stop, Damon. He just kept going until I fell in his unraveling. Then I started feeling like I was in love with Damon, and I shed a tear from confusion and a feeling that I couldn't get out of This without breaking my own heart and losing one of my dearest wishes. He had made me come at least 2 times. I lay there calm and wondering if my love for Damon was real, or was it the sways of the emotions of the devil? Or was I truly falling for the devil? My heart said that I had let it go on for too long, and that's why I was catching feelings. Confusion plagued my mind until he spoke. Don't worry, love. We will be together, and you will know that this emotion that you're feeling is real. He touched me once more until I fell asleep and saw myself in a dream. It starts off with an actual devil ravishing my body, making me feel like I had never felt beforehand. Then I look up and around, and I am in a castle, and there is no ceiling. It is completely open sky. I see bats flying across the starlit sky. As I continue to observe, there is a fireplace burning. Then suddenly I see myself as a young girl on the swings with a friend. And I told her, I'm not sure I'm going to do what he asked me to do. Then I woke up. I knew my dream would come true, but who would be that devil in my dream? I knew he would be Damon, but in what form? I was just worried that somehow I would surrender to Damon. I wasn't sure how it would all unfold, but I feared the future and prayed for a change in my destiny. The all-powerful creator soothed my soul, and somehow I felt like he would heal my heart's pain from this world, and that he loved me just as I loved him, and he wanted to grant me all that I desired from this world and the next. However, I still had to be repentant and pray to him alone without fear, hope, and humility. That was fine with me. I could do it. I had been for many moons now. Where was Damon after my dream? Where was Damon? After my dream, he seemed to disappear. What was he up to? He always had an opinion about my faith and what I thought. Fear shook me while I felt it in my mind and on my skin. It consumed me. Damon was missing, and every time the spirits got quiet, I knew they were up to something. 3:30 a.m. I am up still. What is this? I'm still up this morning after my dream. I turn on some gospel music so I might stay in remembrance of the creator of God. Then I see it is that time in the morning where I can pray to my creator, for he is close. And I try to make it a habit to do so if I was up at this time in the morning. I prayed for the world. I even asked if he and I could be friends, thinking about how I could be a friend of God. I said, well, you have to obey him, fear him, completely surrender to him. Man, I thought, I have so much sin. I have fallen into a well of it all. But I thought Allah will help me get out of my sinful ways. I know I can change. I just have to focus on Him, I thought. Suddenly, my phone rang. The caller ID said it was Slim. So I picked up to hear a fight between him and someone else. I yelled, Slim, Slim, are you okay? The phone hung up. I called back and nothing. I left a message. Right when I was getting out of the shower to pray, I get a knock on the darn door. Wondering who could this be at this time in the morning? Who is it? I said in the most, who is it? I said in the most masculine voice possible. He said, it's me. I thought it sounded like Slim. So I hurried and opened the door, and it was an Asian dream. When I finally opened the door, all the way he says, it's me, Damon. He quickly put his foot in the door so he could keep it ajar. I grew afraid, but he noticed my worry of the situation, and he calmed my nerves and said, Baby, I have something for you, and if you don't take it, I won't leave. What is it? I asked him. A gift from the ones who love you. I said, who? He said, but you have to promise to keep it. I said, as long as you go, as long as you use it for you, he encouraged. I thought it was a pendant or something beautiful like the Pandora bracelet. He handed me a huge bag full of what? I was confused. As soon as I got in the house, I had to pray. The Salat time was almost over. So I prayed, please, Lord, let this be money. When I finished my Salat, I looked in the bag, and it was not only money, but jewelry. Diamond necklaces, crowns, and earrings and bracelets to match. I started wondering if it was truly from Damon, or was it destined to be in my hands from my Lord? And so I went with destiny and Jehovah Jireh. But somehow I would pray for Damon, and that he would believe, that he believes, and change his ways from this lustful existence. Lustful. When getting dressed that day, I had so much fun going through the jewelry and cash. He was right, wanting me to keep this for the betterment of me and my dreams. I would pursue my dream in writing. Wet dreams, I thought. But it turned into a story with Damon over time. So you won't believe that what happened next when Slim shows up that afternoon. I'm like, what happened? Did you get my message? Are you all right? I heard a scuffle. He said, I was out at a business dinner and someone stole my phone. I said, oh, okay, being naive and not asking more questions. I guess I had to assume he's innocent. He looked at me, and a silent fear took over me because of what I saw in Slim's eyes. They appeared all black and without the white part of the eye. but it only appeared that way when I was looking out of the corner of my eyes. So I'm like, I think I need a nap. So Slim promises to stand guard from any more demons. He would be downstairs watching television while I took a nap. So I lay there thinking maybe Damon was messing with me. But that wasn't possible. Slim was so strong. Why would he choose the devil over what good he has from God? I promised God if I was to be with anyone in this life, I would choose Slim. He had become a special friend and soon lover. Something told me to wait within my mind, but my body and my needs told me to marry him as soon as possible. I was just so sure the devil was messing with my mind, or I had been seeing things from exhaustion when it came to Slim's eyes. I was certain without doubt, and I pushed back my fears and my true thoughts because this is Slim we are talking about. He always keeps me on the straight path, reminding me of goodness and God. He wouldn't be overtaken by the devil. So after waking and praying other prayers within the day, I decided to cook. But Slim invited me out to eat. I don't even remember the story. Let me read. Okay. I dressed in jeans, shawl, and turban with pearls. You know, nothing too fancy, thinking we were going to White Castle or something. But it was a fancy restaurant. They walked us to a table right in the middle for all to see. Then the manager came out and pointed to a corner table. I liked the corner table anyway, but Slim wanted the center table and was disappointed when it changed. So I sit and Slim says, I will be right back. I nod my head. He walks away, and just as he's walking away, an Arab knight comes and sits in Slim's place. He says, the devil is after you. I know I work for him, but I had a dream, and it had you as my bride. He grabbed my hand and began to rub it gently. I pulled my hand away and just let him speak. But instead of him letting me alone, he stood up and grabbed me out of my seat and pushed me up against the wall and began kissing me and stroking his hands all over my body. Nobody cared. Nobody. Nobody looked really. No one but Slim. Slim comes rushing, takes hold of the guy, and stares him in the eyes. The Arab says, you want her? She'll never succumb to the likes of you. He spat towards Slim's feet. Slim just stared with anger and decided to let him go. He straightened his clothes and told me his name was Mo. He told me he took one last look at Slim and shook his head and walked away. This is when I noticed everyone watching. As soon as a fight broke out, they want to pull out their phones. But no one was able to do so soon enough. They just whispered, looking back and forth. I asked, Did you know him, son? He says, no, no. I want to get a story away. Okay, how much was that? 30 minutes? Okay, let's see how much we got. On the drive home, Slim seemed to believe we were being followed. I looked back and didn't see anything suspicious, so he tried to take me home in a different way, which was fine. It was just his speed that I tried to warn him about. He seemed worried because it had gotten dark and he could no longer see the colors of the cars behind him. I saw him sweat for the first time in years. I knew something was wrong, so I asked, "Who is following us?" He wouldn't say aloud, he just whispered. So I let him be. If he didn't want to speak to me right now, it was fine. He just needed to get me home, and that was cool with me. So I just stayed quiet and let him drive. Home now, and having him talk to me for a while we sat in the car. He held my hand and said, "I would never do anything to hurt you. You're one of my favorite persons in the world. I need you to be mine. And in my heart, I wanted to always take care of us, and you will always be pleased. So let's go get married and start our new journey together as one." I breathed in and wondered about Mo and why Slim was keeping secrets from me. But I also knew how much I cared for him. And our love making was beautiful. And I wanted to see what love and intimacy would bring after all these years. So I said, yes, but I would like to wait a couple more days. Let me get ready for our first night since we were young. He started shaking his leg rapidly and said, "Okay." I knew he wanted me right then and there, but he was a gentleman and anticipated our wedding night and our night together and forever. He asked for a kiss. I didn't respond. I sneaked a kiss on his lips just for a second and a half. I told myself I would repent in prayer that night. He looked at me and smiled and said, "Thank you." While I quickly got out of the car, walking in the house was peaceful, and I just could not believe the stillness in the air. No spirit greeting me, telling of my sin and how I was wrong and how I was going to hell, settling in for bed, and still I had no sense of my wicked companion. I lay in bed and nothing, no touching, nothing. I thought about how this is the second day with Damon missing. At first, I was at peace, but then when the third night came, I somehow desired Damon's touch. I said, "This is crazy. He pursues me so much, I never thought he would vanish." I knew something was up, but guilt consumed me until I felt sad that my spirit companion was gone finally. "Finally," she said, and the presence of the Lord filled my heart, and I found peace with the silence, thinking I've gotten rid of all all demons in my life, and I no longer felt shame and guilt. Depression passed me, giving me time to start writing. No man, no devils, just me, my Lord, and my writing. 5 days goes by with this peace until I'm sitting out in the sun writing, and Slim pulls up in a brown Cadillac Escalade with flowers and gifts. I couldn't forget about my inner joy and thought how special he always made me feel. And today was a perfect example of that. He was my R&B love story, wrapped in this package called Slim Arnold's. I thought I could use a little extra joy in my life, so I hugged him. Sorry. He gave me my flowers and gifts, and we went inside. I looked in my bags, and it was a pair of sneakers and a handbag. I was so pleased. I sat him down and apologized for not calling him sooner, but I had gotten caught up in my writing. He seemed pleased that I was writing and encouraged me to continue. So you like my gifts? He asked. I love them. They're right up my alley, I told him while smiling. He said, well, let's use them in our wedding. We could pick up a dress to go with it. I already have something to wear with it, if that's cool with you, I explained to him, trying to get him on my side. However convincing I was, he still wanted me in a new outfit. So I said, where will we go at this time and make it to get married on the same day? He said, that's why I have come prepared. He went out to the car and came back with the box. I'm like, oh boy, in my mind, thinking this man came freaking ready. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get married. As I thought that, he put the box in my lap and said, open it. I hesitate at first, even fearful. Even fearful. He pulled the top off, and it was an outfit I had never seen. I had never even had my hands on. He said, get dressed. No need for procrastination. Let us do this, my bride. We're coming to the end. He spoke to me like Damon, demanding, and he called me his bride. But that really didn't mean anything, right? So I got dressed, and I heard a voice saying, she is about to marry the devil. I told them telepathically that it wasn't true. Slim is strong and powerful, but pure. I knew him, or so I thought. I came down the stairs, and he told me how beautiful I looked and how he couldn't wait to make me his. I smiled. Then off we were to get married. He held my hand while driving, listening to music, singing and enjoying one another's voices in company, until we both see Mo standing across the street, like he knew we would be there. I just began to worry again, but soon forgot when we got to the masjid. In the masjid, we signed papers and waited. The imam came out, told us where to sit and what to say, told us to kiss, and it was all over. By this time, it's dark when leaving the masjid. We got in the car and drove to a mini castle he wanted to buy me, some 45 minutes away. I go in with him, and he carries me across the threshold. I look up, and the ceilings are so high. I am truly amazed. He gave me a tour of what he called Palace Unique. It had 5 bedrooms with their own bathrooms, library, finished basement and attic. It was beautiful and unique, just like me. I loved the place and saw it as my forever home. It was all wonderful until our night together. Not until we started foreplay. I wondered why I was so aroused and ready, and why I felt Damon's presence. After he saw I was ready, he opened a ceiling window that let you see the sky. However blind I was, I just knew it was something wrong. Slim looked me in my eyes as he pushed himself in, and I saw a glare appear over both his eyes at the same time. That's when he told me to never leave him. He licked my neck, and as he did this, I shook from pleasure. I close my eyes and make a mistake and call him Damon. He looks at me and says, "Yes, my bride." That's when I knew my dream had come true. Finally, the end of that part. Now, okay, what do you think? Do you think this guy is Damon? Or, I mean, what do you think? I'm going to tell y'all the whole story. It's 2 more parts. So, please, I want to say, share, like, follow, everything. This story has to get out. Now, I want to play a song for you guys that I think I'm only going to play a little bit of it and then I'm going to go, okay? But anyway, I'm about to play a song, and I think if we made this into a movie, The Devil's Bride, I have a lot of ideas. But here is one song that inspires me. Yeah, she looks like